with Around Town Junk Removal. Got a gigantic saguaro removal today. I'm gonna film it, show you how it goes. I'm out in North Scottsdale, kind of Cave Creek area. This cactus is outside of the homeowner's fence line, but still on their property, and they want it gone. And I'm about 30 feet away from it right now, and I can smell it. The wind's blowing toward me, so it's that sweet, rotten cactus smell. Gotta love it. Here, side of the property. Going over the hill and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. I need to trim some of these plants back a bit, make it a little more accessible. Bringing tools back here. So here is the beautiful saguaro. You can see it's totally rotted out. There's still a big arm. Gosh, that's maybe a 7-foot arm. And where that arm starts is probably about 8 feet up. And then this piece here is about 25 feet long. So it's a big one. And I got a chainsaw with me today, as well as some brand new Sawzall blades. So I'm gonna try to not make a huge sticky mess out of the chainsaw and really use that for the hardest parts to cut. I brought a ladder with me, as well as a come along. Try to keep this thing away from the homeowner's fence. Obviously that's important. There's this side view along the fence. That arm goes out and over the fence line. So goal is going to be to safely get it down and protect the fence as well as myself. And that arm probably weighs a good 250 pounds. Just guessing based on experience. Could be less or more. Tell me in the comments if you know. Otherwise, so far no rattlers. Hopefully it stays that way. Wish me luck. All right, step one. Got the cactus tied up to a strap. And even just setting that strap, the cactus almost just tipped over. At least that arm just almost fell off the trunk. So we'll see. I'm gonna give this a pull away from the fence and praying that it clears it. I got the ladder still up there for some support. I was tempted almost just to pull it over the top of the ladder and use the ladder kind of as a lever, but that just seemed a bit reckless. So pull it away from the fence and hopefully it comes clear of it. I got lucky. It came clear of the fence. I'll tell you what, just about put a cramp in my calf muscle pulling on this thing. These branches helped kind of glide it away from the fence. So that heavy arm is off. It's on the ground, right where I was hoping it would end up. And I'm not really worried about this trunk necessarily, not yet at least, falling on me. So I'm gonna start cutting up some of these larger pieces, getting them out of the workspace, and then I'll turn my eyes over this big saguaro stump trunk section. It's huge. But yeah, time to start cutting. All right, I'm starting to cut up the arms and the sections that are on the ground. It's the very first wheelbarrow load. Who wants to take a guess at how many wheelbarrow loads all of this is? You can leave a comment below. It's a lot of material. I'm thinking at least 50, maybe more, maybe 75. I'll do my best to count them accurately. I'll let you know later if I can keep track. Making loads of progress, no pun intended. Just cutting it up with the chainsaw, the pieces that are elevated or off the ground. We don't mess up the blade. Quite a few of these arms were sticking up above ground, so I was able to get to many of them with the chainsaw. Probably made about 30 cuts. And I'm gonna start hauling out a bunch of these chunks and then work on this thick piece down here at the end with the chainsaw. Probably have to cut that into quarters or something, just because it's like more than 2 feet thick. And once this is cleared out of here, at least until about here, then I'm gonna take down this big trunk, get that cut up and removed before my blades go dull. That's gonna be the hardest part to cut up, so I'd like to get that done sooner than later. So this big thick piece and that huge piece, get those done, and then I can just work my way through this with the Sawzall, whatever's on the ground. So that's my plan so far, making progress. I think I'm about an hour and a half into it. Well, unfortunately, my pitchfork has seen better days. I'm gonna have to go pick up a new one. Too many chunks of saguaro. And I wasn't trying to pick this one up. I just stuffed it in there for holding it still. That's too bad. Fiberglass finally gave out. It's coming down now. I just put a couple notches in it and maybe carve that out a little bit before I cut the back of it and tip it over. Well, might be hard to tell in the video, but this main trunk is down and I've cut it up into halves and quarters and manageable sections. There's about a 6-inch stump left, and I'll talk to the homeowner what they want to do as far as me cutting it off at grade or below grade or digging it up or see what the plan is. Usually we just cut it right at grade and then kind of bury it with some soil, let it rot in the ground, and that's pretty effective. So this big section I cut into quarters and gone quite a ways down on a few of these arms. I'm gonna cut the rest of them up and then take a break and go get a new pitchfork and maybe some hay hooks to load these up with. We'll see what I can find that's a useful tool nearby. Don't want to waste too much time looking for new tools, but do want to get this done this morning. It's been a while since I've had to go off a job, mid-job, to go get tools, but it is what it is. The pitchfork broke, so I gotta run and get a not broke pitchfork so I can finish this job. And side note, as far as like process, the chainsaw is working primo. The blade finally went dull, or the chain went dull, but I got 95% of the cuts that I think I need done with the chainsaw. So much faster than the Sawzall. It does get the chainsaw filthy dirty, so I'm sure the rental department will love that. But I talked to them beforehand. They said, no, we'll just clean it for you. Don't take it apart. Don't worry about cleaning it. You know, hose it off if you want, but more or less they wanted to be the ones to do it, so I'll let them do it. But overall, it's performed super well. I'm glad I bought the extra fuel. The rental center sells like a little can of fuel, $7. I used the initial tank plus half that canister additional fuel, so that was good to have. Yeah, all the hard stuff's done. Now it's just the brute force of removing it, and hopefully I can fit it all in one trailer load. I have extra ramps so I can kind of get up on top of the pile if I have to, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go grab some tools and then get back to work. Okay, just got back to the job site. Here's my new tools. Got these two hooks. Thinking these will be helpful. We'll see how they go. And a new DeWalt pitchfork. So, I don't know. I'm guessing there's probably another 50 loads here. Wheelbarrow loads. I'll try to count them. I think I'm at like 5 right now. So, 45 left. We'll see. And probably a couple tons worth of material. So it's going to be a test of endurance. And this is just my first job of the day. I got a couple more jobs to do. And it looks like tomorrow's going to be a super slam day too. So good to be busy. Here we go. Time to work. These hay hooks are making the difference. So much faster to load the wheelbarrow. Safer. No more broken pitchfork. Working great. Highly recommend it. This is a labor here. Oh man, not even halfway loading this. Brutal. This is the trail I'm taking. Going through these shrubs and bushes. I had to prune this trail a little bit to fit through here. Hard to tell, but this is a little bit of a hill. When you're pushing hundreds of pounds every single wheelbarrow, it's a workout. That is a workout. I'm gonna stack this a little neater, a little higher, so I can fit more of it in this load. I'm not sure if I'm gonna fit everything in this trailer, so I'm gonna stack as high as I can. This job is no joke. Brutal. I need to get a helper. And I'm getting so many phone calls and text messages pretty much every day now. I don't know if it's all organic or just from ads or what, but I'm getting so many requests for business I think I'm due for a helper so we can knock jobs out more efficiently, and I can be available to step away from a job for 5 minutes to take a phone call with a new client while my helper is still working. And then on jobs like this, where I'm picking up 5,000 pounds of saguaro or whatever this thing's gonna weigh, I'll let you know afterwards. But I can just have some help, right? It's a lot of material to move. First you cut it up, then you load it in your wheelbarrow, then you wheelbarrow it 70 feet to the ramp. You go up the ramp, dump it in the trailer, then stack it. So just a lot of labor. And I'm not opposed to hard work, but you know, it's still pushing in the upper 90s, I think, today. With the breeze, it feels good, but I'm not trying to get a heat stroke. So yeah, I think I'm due for a helper. It's time. Saguaro went all the way over there. There was 3 or 4 arms that were super long, then another couple 3 arms that were about mid-length. So all of that's removed. Now I'm getting down to the thicker sections. Luckily I cut these into more narrow slices, but some of them didn't cut all the way through, so I'll need to come back with the Sawzall and get those. But as you can see, there's still, I don't know, 1,500 pounds of material here, so I'm doing what I can at a pace that's sustainable and trying to make sure I'm still sweating. I think that's a sign of heat stroke if you stop sweating. So staying hydrated, taking a few breaks here and there, which is not really in my nature, so I kind of gotta set timers and remind myself to slow down and take it one piece at a time. I'm also not overloading the wheelbarrow. Figure 3 or 4 or 5 pieces is enough. That way I can just make more trips. Oh, one other thing, the Danner work boots, leather boots, I've had these for many years. Definitely good on saguaro jobs. I haven't had any thorns go through these boots. I did have some go through my gloves into my hands, but that's not as bad as having them in your shoes. All right, y'all, it's looking like I might be able to fit it all in this trailer load. So, yeah, I still got the trunk here to deal with. A lot of these rotten scraps, I'm just gonna hit with the pitchfork. These sections of trunk, I'm gonna try to keep intact, just so some long pieces. And then I'm gonna bring the Sawzall back and cut this up. The chainsaw didn't go all the way through, just because I was trying to keep out the dirt for as long as possible. But I probably got 6 wheelbarrow loads left, and I'm hoping to fit it in this trailer. I'll show you what the trailer looks like now. The wheelbarrow, you can see the ramp goes up about the same height as the wheelbarrow is, so it's a good couple feet incline. But this is a lot of weight, and I barely have enough room to dump just a few more, and then I'll have to hand load it from the ground. From down here, just stand and chuck it in. So we'll see how that chucking goes. I'm gonna grab the Sawzall and cut up a few more pieces and keep loading. Hey, can you see all these flies? This is like an ecosystem in here. It was wild, you know, when I pulled up this morning, I don't know, 6 hours ago, whatever it was. And just in the driveway, about 80 feet from here, I could smell this. And I almost said something to the client, but I didn't want to be wrong. But I was like, man, I can smell that like sweet saguaro smell. And sure enough, here it is. It's familiar. Yeah, these bugs are loving it though. There you have it, the final wheelbarrow load. It all fit in one trailer. This was a workout. But the customer is super happy. We just did a walkthrough, and I'm gonna clean up my tools, head to the dump. Total dump weight, 3 tons, 6,000 pounds. It's a lot of work. It's going up. I know I didn't want to unload this by hand. 6,000 pounds of saguaro. Touch that stuff enough times today. It's going up, it's coming out. Get this thing done. Got one more job after this, if I can survive. should be good. Time to pull forward. Look at all this green. Turn into compost. Oh yeah, get some of that compost right there. Up in Desert Hills. Headed north. There's a view of Daisy Mountain up there. Going to do a tree branch removal job. This is my next job. Loading up all these tree branches. They're dried up and ready to go away. I'm gonna pick this bag up too. Well, that's heavy. Yeah, get this loaded up and out of here for this homeowner. And it's much lighter and much closer to the trailer than that 6,000 pounds of wire earlier. Look at this empty trailer. We call that capacity. Good night from the desert. It's been a good day.